got cut short because I dropped the clamp, but the clamp's removed. I should be able to pull the rotor off. The rotor off. Yeah, needless to say, that doesn't sound so good when you spin it. Listen to that. I think it's safe to say that that doesn't sound so well. Those bearings are done. Definitely got play. Oh wow. Yeah. It's done. So here's the replacement. The door last, of course, I would have preferred the better one for another 40 bucks, but anything's better than that. I think we can agree on that. There's the new one. Oh, she's a heavy one, huh? All these studs and everything. So we got to remove the 3 bolts in the back. And that one there. Now this is much tighter. This is going to be nice. So let's find out what size they are and crank those babies out of there. Okay, so I got 2 out of the 3 bolts out of the wheel bearing. This one I had to use a 15mm wrench because of the protrusion from the upper ball joint. Didn't allow me to get a socket on it. Let's see how bad that bearing is. You see I had the top one out. I got the one down here out also, and I'm doing the last one now. Requiring a little percussive maintenance, but it's coming. So, and I gotta disconnect that ABS wire. So I already disconnected the top. I just gotta, you see it sitting in there, right there. I just gotta put out of the other little connectors. There we go. Probably a couple good knocks with the hammer and that should come right out. Probably the shield might come off too, so we'll hit her a couple times there, get it straight as down in there if I have to pry it out. After I disconnect this whole line there, which will be what this one's for, to connect. Oh, it's got new pins, so I can actually just rip it out and pry it out and connect her up, so that's what we'll do. I'll just tear them out. So this is the next day. You can kind of see where we're at. The wheel bearing, it's still on. It's still attached. Clearly garbage, as I showed before. Got all the bolts out. All of them are out, but it will not come out of its housing. So I even hit the back of it and busted off. You can see where it was beating on it. Trying to get it out of there. So I think our only solution is going to be to disconnect the tie rod and the upper and lower ball joint, take the whole spindle assembly out and beat it straight out with a hammer that way. I think that's going to be our only solution. So I undid the tie rod and the upper ball joint. I just got to do the lower, which is a different size, of course. So that's the plan. So it never comes out easy. That's why I change them before they go totally bad. So as I mentioned earlier, I had to get the ball joints and tie rod out, which I did manage to do using some pry bars and a big sledge, which if you had a pickle fork could have made things a lot simpler. But basically the upper ball joint's not too bad. The lower one is kind of okay, but you see how bad the boot is. Really, they should both be replaced, even the tie rod as well. But you know that's not going to happen because people are in cheap ways. But basically I had to beat on the sledge, and then I had to brought the spindle over here. I had to get myself a little creative setup here since I didn't have a vise to hammer it out. We had to do a little re-drill in there, but okay, so remove get the spindle shaft there and got the old wheel bearing out. Actually, I think one of the bearings fell out when I picked it up. That's what came out. But there was a seal and then a cap that was on this. I ended up breaking it off. And was trying to hit it out. Amazingly, none of the wheel studs came out. I'm surprised about that. So, and then there was the flange gasket or whatever. It's not going to go back on there. I ended up, there's a little bit of rust thing. Let's try to do something about that. And I wire wheeled that, got all that pretty smooth for the most part. So new bearing should slide in there fairly nicely. A little tore up here and there, but that's what happens with high miles. So I'm just going to clean it up a little more and then get the other bearing out.